Dias,
Here.
Covert,
Here.
Lees,
Here.
Newberry.
Here.
Right. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve is presented. Support.
Motion and support. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into our council and staff reports. Greg?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple items. Cooperation, Chad and I did a joint radio spot this morning, 9 o'clock, talking about our efforts. Joint newsletter went out June 1st. It's on Facebook, social media, the city's website, and then there's a landing page that was created for that joint newsletter. We'll keep all of those, and the plan is to send those out on the 1st of the month. Encourage you to take a look at that and share that. Chickens, not tonight, but in your update, you'll have 4 different versions, and then on the packet for next time, you'll have 4 different versions. You'll have Clinton, Burlington, the combination version that Kelly had put together of the 2, and the zoning code version in front of you. But I'll send those out in the packet, not the packet, excuse me, the update this week to give you a little prep time to start looking through those. School district, you'll be hearing from me shortly. They'd like to set up a joint meeting, discuss some of their planning and capital efforts. So we'll get that set up here shortly. DOD grant is due this month, coordinating with Regional Planning Commission, Burlington as well, and Lieutenant Colonel Nasi out at the plant. So we'll get those moving forward. You'll see an SRT application, state rectal application for Agency Street at the next meeting as well, as we apply for those funds. And we had an initial meeting on preliminary location for the new force main or combination force main this week, and I am meeting with adjacent property owners to discuss potential easements. So it's just a preliminary design, but we wanted to get out ahead of it and talk to property owners. So first one was good to go.
Okay.
So
Thank
if
you.
I read that correctly, we're now looking at relining our 24-inch and putting a 16-inch next to it rather than
16-inch would be the new one, and then either repipe or smaller size pipe or line in some fashion, the other one. So, but making sure that there's 2 so that we have the ability to shut one down. The new one would operate most days. It would, and then during high events, you would utilize the relined existing force main. And we want to make sure there's substantial capacity for future development. So.
All right, thank you, Greg.
Yes.
Public Works?
Millard's was down last week to fix the Pennington manhole and sewer line with the help of some Public Works. It took a little longer than we thought, but it's all finished and done and backfilled. And then local boring is moving right along with the water main at Longmeadow. Most of the water main's in. They'll probably get the rest of it, the remainder of it in within the next week. And then there's already about 3/4 of the water services are already hooked up to the new water line. So they're moving right along and it's going well. So with a few minor things, with a couple of new valve changes and that's what the change order's for later on, you'll see. But other than that, everything went smoothly there. So that's all I got.
Any more information on the state about whether they might close down here?
I talked to them a couple hours ago, and they made it sound like they were not going to do that. They're looking to leave both lanes open, and they're still trying to figure out full planning, but they're trying to keep both lanes open and possibly opening up the exits. So, but it'd be smaller lanes with no semi-traffic. So but nothing's final, but that's what they're looking to anyway.
That's one of the things I get asked most about these
Yeah,
days.
me too. But that's, like I said, that's not a final answer, but that's what, when I spoke to them today, that's what they're going for, so.
Thank you. Jesse, police,
A
fire?
couple things. Police department, we got our K-9 fundraiser on Saturday, the 13th. We're doing a bags tournament. So we're hoping for a lot of teams to show up. Got a lot of good fundraiser donations from our local community, businesses, so it's working well. I had my 3 police officers pass the EMT test, so we have 4 of us now that's on the police department that are EMT certified. So I get some equipment in their cars, so they were pretty nervous about it, but they all 3 passed on their first chance. Fire department will have a Feld fire in next week doing our annual pump testing for our fire trucks and all that, so staying busy.
Okay, thank you. Anything from you, Kelly?
We have some numbers for the swimming pool so far. Total revenues from concessions was $4,196. Daily admissions, we had 1,160 daily admissions. We've had 5 season passes sold. No, let's see. 10 season passes sold. And 6 coupon books. Have 1 private party already booked, and that's about it so far.
Okay, and staffing's okay on what we need there?
Yes, I think so. That total revenue for all of admissions is $7,012.30.
Kelly, is that something like next time when you present it that you can show what last year is? Because it sounds like a big improvement
Well,
from last
We
year.
weren't
weren't
open
open last
last
year.
year yet.
Well, not this time, but I mean from the opening day,
Yeah.
from opening day,
We beat our numbers for opening day just very slightly.
just very slightly.
But we typically do provide a year-over-year comparison.
Yeah, at the end of the year, yeah. But I'm thinking.
Well,
'cause
we
I
did it
drove
last
by the
year
other day and
every
it looked
few-
like it was really full.
Yeah, we did it every so often last year.
Well, we're the only pool operating.
Right now we are,
Two,
yeah,
one of 2.
yeah.
Only show in town, huh? Okay, Angie, anything for finance?
I have the books ready to be put together, the budget books. Hopefully Tara can get them put together while I'm gone. And then, I'll post the full book on the website. And then if you would like a digital copy, you can either get it off the website or let me know and I'll email it.
Angie, are you leaving early today then, or?
Yeah, I have to go to Des Moines tonight.
Okay. Go to council. Kathy?
Nothing for me tonight.
Patrice?
I have nothing.
Okay.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing for me.
Ooh, moving
Goodness,
on.
my goodness. Well, with that, I don't have anything either, so we will move on to any citizen inquiries. Seeing none, I will move on to our public hearing. Open a public hearing on the proposal to dispose of certain real property situated in West Burlington's urban renewal area for the development of apartment buildings and townhomes.
All right. Good evening, everybody. It is that time of year applying for workforce housing tax credits for the community. We should have 4 in Greater Burlington, 1 out in the county, 1 in Burlington, hopefully 2 in West Burlington, which are on the agenda tonight. I'll go ahead and introduce Joe Mitchell here, who's the developer on the project. He drove down from Clear Lake this afternoon. We made sure to get dinner at the Broadway first, though. And so he's very familiar with these kinds of projects. Locally here, he's done a project over in Mount Pleasant, but he does done them pretty much all over the state in these size of communities, specifically in Clear Lake and I believe DuPage County as well. So Joe, go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's good to be here tonight. So Joe Mitchell with Westland Real Estate, LLC, and Bryce Hawkins here with me as well with the company. And so, I've done these projects all over eastern Iowa. So I've done 2 projects in Mount Pleasant. So I'm originally from southeast Iowa here. I'm part of the Leach family, if you guys are familiar with the Leach family. And my grandmother was also a Lutnager. So our whole entire family has, ties to Burlington, but I've done developments in Mount Pleasant, 2 different townhome projects. And so I did an 8 townhome project back in 2021. That was my first workforce housing tax credit project that I did. And then the next year I did a 19-unit townhome project. Both were for lease, fully occupied now, and have been great for the community. And now I've done stuff in Dyersville, Clear Lake, and Grinnell as well. So towns from 5,000 to 20,000 people is sort of the population area that I like to target. I do everything with workforce housing tax credits. So those are tax credits from the state of Iowa, from the Iowa Economic Development Authority, and that helps bring the equity to the table to make these projects work. And so, again, everything I've done is pretty much 2-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, or 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage projects. And Taylor reached out a few months ago and asked if I would be interested in doing something here in West Burlington, and I said absolutely. And this is the type of community we want to be in. And I think the project we're proposing fits perfectly for what you guys want to have over by the mall, and to be able to redevelop it. And I think the parcel and the property that the city has right now is really perfect for this proposal of 22 townhomes. And looking forward to hopefully being able to get the option, apply for the tax credits and get that award, and be able to bring some new housing to West Burlington.
Applications are due?
So June 10th is when applications are due. And so we have essentially the entire application filled out at this point. One of the, big things though is you have to have, show control of the land either through an option or, own it yourself and have the deed or whatever. And so, once we get this, we'll essentially have, the application complete. We have a letter of intent from Two Rivers, for the project. And, we'll have hopefully the resolution of support from you all as well, to show the city match for it. But, we think it's, highly competitive, and I have about an 80% success rate, with these, projects I've submitted for applications. So, it's, a pretty good success rate for a very competitive program. So we feel, really confident about our chances to get the credits for this project.
So, Your Honor, there's multiple steps tonight in this process. Items numbered 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all related to this process. So you'll see a resolution accepting the proposal for the purchase and development of the property, the proposal that was submitted and provided to council. Looks like this as well. The option agreement that's included in the packet, and there's a slight wording change that I'll mention to you, that you have the revised one in your packet. Resolution of support for both projects. So there's 4 different steps tonight in this process. So, but yeah, it's our recommendation to proceed with the proposal that we received from Western Real Estate LLC, and you have that packet in your hands. There will be additional steps beyond this. Obviously, there's the award of the tax credits, and should the award be received, we'll be working with bond counsel on the urban renewal plan and on the TIF agreement as well. Yep. So.
This competition or whatever, it will all be finished by about August or so? Is that about when they know?
Yeah, so typically the award dates are late August, or at the latest early September, that we'll know if we got the credits or not.
And the state's aware that we will be having more housing needed in the area because of the plan, right? I'm sure.
Yes, yeah, that's in the application. So in the application, they asked to state companies that have brought on employment in the last 3 years and what's anticipated to come on as well. And obviously there's been a lot of great expansions and companies coming to the greater Burlington area over the last few years, and so that's very helpful for the scoring system on the application.
Did you include the Iowa Army ammunition plant in those?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Yep.
I figured that's one that might have a little bit of weight with it. So.
Right. We hope so too.
Any other questions?
I don't have.
I thank you for your time and certainly the drive down, so.
Yeah, of course. I'm going to stay at my parents. They live in Danville.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, John and Jean Mitchell. So, yeah, I'm going to stay at their place tonight. So not too far of a drive, only about 15 minutes.
That's good. They probably appreciate that too.
They do, yeah. They do.
Maybe once we get this housing built, they might consider relocating to
But maybe they will. I'll pitch them on that tonight, you know. We'll see.
just a little better than that.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'll move down here then, too. I don't know.
We'll have room.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Seeing no other information, I will close the public hearing. And we will go into new business. Number 1, consider resolution awarding a general obligation corporate purpose bonds series 2026. We have some information on this one. Do I have a motion, by
Motion
the
to
way?
approve.
Support.
Motion and support.
Thank you very much. I'm Maggie Berger with Spear Financial. We did receive bids this morning on $4,355,000 of general obligation corporate purpose bond series 2026. There are multiple reasons you're issuing these bonds. I'm sure that you have walked through these with Greg and Angela over the last 3 months on this. We are recommending that we would award to Stiefel of Birmingham, Alabama, at a true interest rate of 3.4897%. That's a very good interest rate in today's market. They are going to pay you a small premium, just around $120,000. That premium works, and we'll get to it in a couple pages back, but how the premium works is they're willing to give you money up front because they want a 4% interest rate all the way down, but they know that to win a deal in today's market, they need to be in that 3.5% range. So they're going to give you a little bit of money up front. Those premium dollars can be used on any of the projects that you held public hearings for. They also can be put into the debt service fund if you have no other reason. But we try to avoid calling out specific projects in public hearings. There are some references to specific projects, but mainly we call out a lot of infrastructure, streets, water, sewer, stormwater, so that you can use those extra dollars. Even if there's leftover bond proceeds, you'd be able to use them that way. You can see the low bid was 3.4897. High bid from Hilltop Securities was a 3.66, but we're real happy to see 5 bids. We did see 5 bids yesterday on our bond sale for the city of Waterloo, and we were right in that same range for interest rates. So again, that's telling us over a couple-day period that that's absolutely where the market is at. If you flip to page 2 of our packet, the city did go out and seek a Moody's bond rating as part of our bond sale. This was an important piece because of the size of the issuance. The city was reaffirmed at the A3 issue rating, and the outstanding general obligation rating for the city remained the same at the A3. So we're very happy with that. I would like to thank your administration. Greg and Angela participated in over an hour-long phone call with Moody's, answering a whole lot of questions about you financially, demographics, where they see things going, and then projections on financials in the future. So they did an excellent job. We do a little highlighting just to point out a few items. The one thing, though, that I always point out is factors that could lead to a downgrade. We have this conversation every year with folks. Moody's, any rating agency, they love cash. They want to know that you have a lot of cash on hand to be able to operate the city in the absence of cash coming in a timely basis. So they do mention that items that could lead to a downgrade is the liquidity ratio consistently below 15%. So you have a pretty good liquidity ratio right now, above a 30% range. They're just saying, pay attention to your cash. Just don't spend your cash. And not have any plans to rebuild that cash back up over a 1 or 2 year period.
So for purposes of our state representative directly behind you, that would be a higher fund balance would give us a better rating.
Oh, you're the first state representative to sit in a meeting after that legislation, so thank you. Yes, I don't disagree. The 35% cap that the state legislature recently put on cities for your general fund cash balance, We have discussed it with Moody's, we have discussed it with S&P. At this point in time, they are not willing to view it as a negative right now. They did tell me that's not something that they can say in the future because obviously they have to see how that trends. We have a lot of cities that are very concerned about that, as we are concerned about it, because again, we see how it affects on these ratings. It is a highly weighted item within these.
But their highest score went to 50% fund balance. Our target has always been 25% here locally, but I mean, I've certainly seen a number of 35% in some of the communities that are growing rapidly, but I think 25% is a pretty good target.
Yes. Yeah, I think 25%, if you can stay in that 25%, again, it is general fund. We would remind you that there are ways to transfer out of the general fund as you set aside things for different projects, as you set aside things for different things. The one thing that Moody's and S&P do is they do accumulate some of those other fund balances, right? They look at those and they help bring that into that liquidity ratio. That is something that they have started doing over the last 4 to 5 years. Their methodologies could always change, and with that change, there could be some pressure then with new state legislation. So just something to be considered. The last 2 pages, we do talk about the bid tabulation. So getting a little bit more into that 4%, you can see every bidder, and it's a page that sort of looks like this. It's got all of the bidders listed here for you. On that bid tabulation page, you can see that every bidder bid a 4% all the way down for each maturity of this bond issue. Again, today's market is the investors are sort of demanding that 4% interest rate. But you also have the underwriter saying, but if we keep it at 4% and we don't pay any premium dollars, we're not going to be the winning bidder. We're not going to be successful. You're not going to get your investment. So they are informing that, we were explaining this morning or having a discussion this morning that if I'm an investor and I'm willing to invest $10,000, the underwriter who's buying this may say, well, I need $10,500 out of you. That $500, it's what goes into making that premium that they're willing to give you. And by doing that, I still get my 4% interest rate for the next 10 or 11 years while you hold that and you pay me my interest. But I also know that, maybe in 4 or 5 years, if interest rates change, my friends might be sitting on CDs that are 2%, and I still have this investment. And I'm willing to pay that extra money up front now to have that long-term higher interest rate investment, because my assumption is that interest rates will fluctuate and they may actually go down and I'd have a higher rate investment. So that's really how that premium works. Very typical. Yesterday, every bid was 4% all the way down. This is really what we've been seeing since about October. In the market, they're saying this is what we're going to be seeing through the end of the calendar year in the municipal market. Although you have the A3 rating, the underwriter, Stiefel, did buy insurance today, and that's municipal bond insurance. All that really does is covers you if you do not make a payment. Oddly, the cities in Iowa cannot declare bankruptcy, so a judge would step in and say, you are required to make this payment. You are required to levy the property taxes on the folks. But the bond insurance, these insurance companies, Assured Guarantee is our insurance company today. It is at the cost of the underwriter. It is no cost to you, the city, but it brings a higher rating in S&P and Moody's. And that helps that underwriter get to that 3.48, because now they know that they can get a little bit lower on interest rate because there's this higher rating for those investors. And some portfolios require a rating higher than an A3. So it was a good move. We were happy that you qualified for the insurance that the underwriter could purchase. The final page of our packet is your debt service schedule. This is the final schedule. This will be locked in after your action this evening. In about 2 weeks, you'll have additional action. That will be the authorizing and issuance. It's very simple. It will be one resolution, and then the mayor gets to sign his name on a whole lot of documents. So on this, we've got June 1st of 2033. You'll see there's a line drawn there. That is the call feature on the bonds, and that is optional redemption. And that option is only at your option. So if at that point in time, interest rates are lower than 4%, we will let you know and tell you if there's any net savings. We do not refinance bonds out any longer than the original maturity. So you would be doing a, 3-year refinance, but if interest rates are 1.5% or 2%, it might save you some good money. If at that point in time you have any money ahead, you could pay those bonds down or pay them off in full at that time, or any time after that. And if at that time interest rates are, somewhere in that 3.5% to maybe 5% range, you just can continue to hold this until the maturity and pay that off. So the option is only your option to call, but we always do protect you with an option in there in case something changes financially for you. With that, I'd answer any questions that you have, but we would recommend passage of your resolution this evening awarding to Stiefel at 3.4897%.
I have no questions.
Okay. None? Please? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it.
That I would call for a roll call.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz.
Aye. Motion carries, thank you. Now we'll get into our series of 2, 3, 4, and 5, I believe. So we'll start with a resolution accepting a proposal for the purchase and development of certain real property for development of an apartment building and townhouses.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion on this?
This is your packet. Obviously, developers are here tonight, and if you have any questions, it's a good time. Just remember, this is the first step in the process in the disposition of the property and the proposal, and we have to go through the renewal process as well. So,
Seeing no questions? Roll call, please.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Number 3, consider an option agreement to purchase certain property from the city, Westland Mall Plat 2, Lot N. Greg, is this the one where you had a,
you should have the correct language in the packet. But yes, so if you want a motion, I can discuss
Motion
it.
approved. Support.
motion? Do I have a second?
Support.
Second, thank you. Yeah, go ahead if you want on that.
Reading through the document for the umpteenth time today, I found some language that I thought was rather inconsistent. I called Joe and Bryce and had a quick conversation. And so the piece that we changed is in section 1, grant of option, after October 31, 2026, in parentheses, it says, unless extended by mutual agreement of the parties. In section 2, we had 2 additional paragraphs, which had a 12-month option, followed by 2 6-month extensions. So the 2 paragraphs were in conflict. So this cleans it up and gives us the ability to extend that by mutual agreement. So this is a much cleaner version.
Any other discussion? Not, I'll call for a roll call.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Number 4, consider a resolution supporting the submission of an Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA, application to the Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program by Monroe Street Landing LLC and pledging a local match.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion on this?
This is the apartment complex application, and the next resolution is for the townhome application.
Ready? Roll call, please.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Number 5. Consider a resolution supporting the submission of an Iowa Economic Development Authority, IEDA, application to the Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program by Westland Real Estate LLC.
Motion approved.
Second. Thank you. Any discussion? Not. Roll call, please.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Joe.
Really
Thank you, Bryce.
appreciate your
Thank you,
time.
Taylor. Sorry about the small dig there.
You deserved it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Number 6, consider approval and submission of a local match pledge letter to US EDA pledging a local match of $257,648 match for the Gear Avenue Access Project related to the US EDA.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on this?
So if you recall, we recently were awarded the RISE grant application, and let's see and now we have the EDA application. This is the same letter that council approved previously, but now we have better numbers. And so we have the $1 million plus RISE grant, $1 million plus EDA grant. RISE is for street infrastructure. EDA grant is for water and sewer infrastructure. And the city's responsibility at 257,648 is shy of 10% of the total project cost, which I think is an excellent grant opportunity to get this project done.
Okay.
Spreadsheet, numbers I gave you.
I think all I need on this is a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll go to number 7. Consider resolution amending Resolution 2026-14 to add a certified shallow water guard position for the 2026 pool season. I believe we talked about this sort of earlier, so.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second.
How many shallow guards do we need? Or have we hired?
I'm not sure. I know we.
1 to 3, not sure if everybody's gotten certified yet.
We'll take additional lifeguards, we'll take additional shallow water lifeguards. I think we've got enough concession folks, but we need, and can use additional lifeguards of both categories.
Okay, resolution, so I'll ask for a roll call, please.
This is a voice vote for Newberry.
Okay.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Covert.
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 7, consider a resolution temporarily closing streets for the West Burlington 4th of July celebration.
Number 8.
I'm sorry, number 8. Did I say 7?
Yes, but you read 8, so
But I read 8.
you're good.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Motion and support. Since we do this every single year, do I need a voice vote on this?
Yeah, this is a resolution.
Okay, all right, well, I'll call for a voice vote then.
And we don't
Yeah.
necessarily keep all of this closed the whole time, but,
Certain
kind of
parts
shrink
of
it
it.
down as the day goes, so.
Right.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. All right, so we'll go to the purchase, number 9. Consider the purchase of a 2022-2024 Chevrolet Silverados for the police department.
Motion. Second.
Motion second.
I didn't hear who made the motion. Okay,
Ringo.
second. Tony. Sorry.
And we have money budgeted, Jesse?
That was, yeah, we got the budget for one, and then we talked about selling the excess equipment from the fire department through Gov Deals to pay for the second one.
It'll cover the cost of the second one, or we have to juggle?
Excuse me?
Will it cover the entire cost of the,
I don't know if it will cover the entire cost of the second one, but some of it may come out of the reserves, the fire department reserve, so.
But it was, we had the fire engine, we had the truck, we had the.
Trade-in on my.
The trade-in, we had the vehicle that Mark's currently using and the Ford as well. Is that right?
There's 4 vehicles,
Four
2 fire
vehicles,
truck
yep.
and 2 old squad cars.
Right.
Or my current squad car and the car that Mark's driving right now are the 4 that we're getting turned in.
So between all of that, hopefully we can get, based on the bids, hopefully we get close to covering the costs, otherwise, yeah. the equipment surplus.
I didn't want Greg have to make up the difference.
Thank you.
All right, any other further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 10, consider a quote from Carl Emergency Vehicles and Apparel to install minor equipment in the two 2024 Chevrolet Silverados for the police department.
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support, thank you.
These vehicles did come pretty much fully stocked. There are a few things that they did not come with, which you can see that we were asking for. But
Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Go to number 11, consider adding Misty Brick, Page, how do I pronounce her last name?
Kleindenist.
Okay, an electronic covert to the fire department.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
Clear as mud.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. Motion carries. Consider a quote from Pro Line Stripping for the street painting project.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
It's the same company we've used for the past probably 4 years. And the other quote on there was a company that we've used in the past, but they were slightly higher, so.
Were we not thinking of sharing that with Burlington, or?
Page 93 or page 4, technically, of the agenda item has a kind of a breakdown on that. And perhaps we can revisit it in the future. But given the cost and the man-hours, it makes more sense to contract at this point in time with, and continuing that with the discussion. Doesn't mean the discussion is dead by any means, but this is probably a case where it would have made more sense, in my opinion, to jointly purchase the vehicle and spread the cost out over 5 years and get a payback on it, rather than contracting for the service on an annual basis. It just doesn't come out numbers-wise. But it probably would have been better to go the other route. But again, like everything that we're doing, we want it to benefit both communities. There has to be a cost-benefit analysis done and make sure that there is a benefit. And the other concern is just simply the amount of staff time to accomplish the task as well. So we're looking at least probably 2 weeks, plus or minus, in there. And depending on what they're doing, 3 to 6 employees to get that done. So there is a breakdown on page 93 of those costs, but not a dead discussion. We'll continue the discussion, see if there's not a better way of doing it.
And we'll still be doing crosswalks, arrows, intersections, and everything else in town, the parks. We'll still be doing all that. That doesn't include any of that, so.
This is simply the straight line striping.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, consider the final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 55 concerning impoundment of animals running at large, abused, or neglected.
Motion.
Second. Motion second. Any discussion on this item?
I just have a question. So the people, if they go pick up the animal, they'll pay $35 a day at the shelter, correct?
No, the shelter doesn't always charge. So our contract, when we get to that point, will identify that they need to try to acquire the fee from the pet owner first. And then if they fail to do so, then the city would be able to go after it. But they do not always charge the daily fee to pet owners when they are picked up, no.
So being the angel's advocate. What if the people decide they're not gonna spend $300 to reclaim their animal? Then what? We
Well-
bought an animal, or need another canine, or what do we do?
The animal stays with the Humane Society and is adopted out.
The Humane Society then could put it up for adoption or something of that
Yes.
nature?
Yes. At that point in time, then the fee stops and they would put it up for adoption.
Then
If they,
will
if
we
the,
assess their property for the?
we will charge, if this fee is not collected in either case, we will charge this fee against the pet owner through a citation.
So we're up to $300 and they're not gonna pay $300, so now the dog becomes part of the shelter. There's no way we can recoup that $300 by assessing it on their property taxes, or what are you telling me?
That's what this does,
Okay,
but through a citation
okay.
rather
that's
than
what I
on
wanna know.
taxes. Yes.
As far as I thought
And
you
if they
said
fail to
no.
pay the citation, eventually it could end up
I
on
don't
the,
know that I think there's some limitations on what you can assess the property for.
right. But this will be a citation. So if they fail to proceed, then there's other routes or avenues we would take, legal action that we would take. But this is a citation.
So we
This was the
take 'em-
recommended route from the city attorney and this is the same ordinance that Burlington is adopting.
So we're gonna take them to court and hope they show up and pay.
Hopefully, we don't have to, but it's
Well-
like any other citation, but yes, it's like any other citation.
It's probably dependent on the animal owner.
And hopefully, the majority will obviously take their animal home and pay the cost I mean, it's cheaper than boarding your animals, so hopefully they'll cover those costs. But this is just to ensure that the city is not covering those costs, our residents aren't covering those costs, that the pet owner is covering those costs.
Okay,
All right, roll call, please.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz,
Aye. Motion carries. Go to number 14, consider the final reading of an ordinance amending section 50.063 of the city code concerning abatement of nuisance.
Motion approved.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a roll call, please.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Number 15, consider the final reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 75 of the City Code concerning special stops.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, I'll call for a roll call, please.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Consider the second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 79 of the City Code concerning no parking zones on Lane Drive.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion and second. No discussion. Roll call, please.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 17, consider the second reading of an ordinance setting water rates for fiscal year 2026, 2027.
Motion to approve.
I'll recognize Tony on that one, and then we second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this the correct?
the
Great.
numbers were correct.
Okay, thank you. And then, do we have that posted on Facebook or our city
We
website?
haven't yet, till they're final, we can,
I
is that
think
what you
people,
wanted, like a,
I think people should look at it before the final reading if they wish to come and talk about it.
that, they're not on there right now. I mean, they're posted on the website in the ordinance.
Right.
Well, I think you ought to just put it on the Facebook page so they
Maybe
can
we
see it.
just have a link there that goes directly to the.
Something I think they ought to know ahead of time, because people never come and complain until after the fact.
You're always also welcome to attend any of our budget sessions, including the public hearing. We encourage that.
Seeing no further discussion, call for a roll call, please.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, we'll go to second reading of an ordinance setting sewer rates for fiscal year 2026-27.
Motion.
Support.
Motion and support. Probably the same comment from Therese on posting that also?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
One thing that Maggie did not mention, there's a number of factors in there, and coverage ratio. So meeting our SRF coverage ratio is another factor considered in that Moody's review and discussion as well. So it's an important piece that we meet that with water. We need to meet that with sewer as well. So that's another aspect that came out during those discussions.
Well, we can add that on the sewer rates and stuff and say, due to the fact that we have this, we need to raise it.
And that can change, throughout the year based on expenditures and things that change as well. So your coverage ratio at budget time, and the beginning of the fiscal year, as it proceeds through the year, I mean, it depends on your expenditures versus revenue.
Well, because when they get their bill in August, they're gonna say, holy and smoly. And that would be a nice thing.
And we've had multiple increases each year from Waterworks as well, past 3 years in a row.
Things are a little tougher this year.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz, Covert.
Motion carries. Number 19, consider the second reading of an ordinance setting garbage collection rates for fiscal year 2026-27 and the following 27-28.
Motion.
Second. Motion and second. Considering what discussion we've had, I doubt if there's anything else on this one.
Yep.
So, roll call, please.
Newberry,
Aye.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees.
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 20, consider the second reading of an ordinance setting recycling rates for fiscal year 2026-2027.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion second. Probably no discussion. Seeing none, then roll call, please.
Diaz,
Aye.
Covert,
Aye.
Lees,
Aye.
Newberry.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Number 21, consider change order number 1 related to the Pat Klein water main replacement project.
Motion approved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do
Thank you.
you wanna talk about that, Chase?
It's just 2 valves. One on our map said it was a 6-inch valve, and once I dug it up, it wasn't. It was a 12-inch. So that's what they had to replace. So it was cost more. And then the other one was a valve they added that is just going to help us in the future. They put one in the middle of the line so we can isolate it better in the future, and it just wasn't added from the get-go. So.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Seeing no citizen inquiries, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session. And moved, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.